Acids normally according to the physical characteristics of the acid, we say acids are little bit of sour in taste. Now this is because you are studied in lower classes, no chemical is allowed to taste it. Because we do not know whether it is poisonous or not. The taste is the last option. Remember that. So what are acids? Acids normally we say if you take lime juice, it is sour in taste. Citrus fruits, all these citrus fruits have got acids in it. So these are acids. And what is mentioned in bases are bitter in taste. Bases are bitter in taste and acids are sour. These are physical characteristics. But remember, taste is the last option. So we leave out that. All right. Now let us come back to the chapter. You know that we are studying now classes indicators. Now, what are indicators? Indicators are certain substances which indicate, they show something. What does it show? It shows whether the material is acid, alkali, or a neutral material. And how does it indicate? By changing its color, smell, etc. Indicators are certain. Suppose like when you go to a particular area, there is an indication. Okay, this arrow is mentioned. This is so and so person's house. That indicates. Saying that indicators are certain chemicals. It can be natural or artificial, which change its color or which changes its smell. And when particular thing is it, and that is the meaning of indicators. Now, for example, we are studying the most common indicators are the paper. Litmus papers are two colors, one is red and second is blue. Simple test. Litmus papers are a certain extract obtained from the lichens plant, and that is used to test whether it is acid or alkali. Now, what happens? Acids change blue litmus to red, and alkalis change red to blue. Litmus papers or litmus solutions are certain colored liquid. It is in fact it is bluish color. So when blue litmus solution or blue litmus paper is put into an acid, the blue litmus paper gets changed into red. Now same red litmus solution, when you put it into an alkali, it gets changed into blue. Litmus papers are forever. So don't just think that if you put a blue litmus paper in acid, it is gone to red and it cannot be used. Same red litmus paper can be used to test an alkali. That's very clearly. Litmus papers are indicators. Now there is a question given inside the book. How would you test acid and alkali plus water by blue litmus paper? Only one litmus paper is given. So on to that, take the litmus paper. We have given three solutions. You do not know which is. As I told you, no solution is supposed to be tasted until and unless it is stored. So we are not allowed to taste it. So you take one drop of that solution, put it into the litmus paper, and see its color gets changed. If it does not, forget about it. Take the next solution, put it. If it does not, put the third solution. And in case the color as blue litmus paper has gone to red, so third litmus paper, the third solution what we put, we can say it is an acid. Now with that acid, we have got now at present a red litmus paper. To the red litmus paper, other two solutions one by one you put it. When you put water, the red will remain red. When you put alkali, the red turns to blue. So with one litmus paper, we can test all the solutions. That's very clearly. So it's not necessary if you have been in the lab, you have been given a red litmus paper and you have been asked to test HCl, hydrochloric acid. So acids will not change the color of the red litmus paper. So you have to convert the red litmus paper into blue. How put that? No, sodium hydroxide, ammonium hydroxide. Any alkali is put, its color will change to blue and red. That's it. The next one is indicator is methyl orange. Methyl orange, the term itself is clear, it is orangish in color. Methyl orange, it is orangish in color. So when it is put into acid, it slightly turns to red. Red means don't just think that we will get dark red, brick red. Slight reddish color is obtained when methyl orange is added into any acid. And when it is put into alkali, it turns to yellowish in color. First one is litmus paper. Blue to red in acid, red to blue in base. The second one is methyl orange. Methyl orange solution turns to red in acid and yellowish in alkali. Understood it? Clear? Then there are certain other indicators which are olfactory indicators. Olfactory indicators means olfactory mother your nose smells. So certain substances get change its color, and that is what is olfactory indicators, like vanilla, etc., etc. That is what is going, etc. Understood clearly? So basically, indicators are those material which indicate, which shows whether it is acid, alkali, or neutral. No other testing can be tested. Remember, we can come to know that whether it is an acid. Which acid? That is another test. Indicators cannot identify the type of acid. Indicators can identify whether it is acid or alkali. Clear? Everybody understood it clearly? Okay. Now let us study about acids in detail. Now down. The definition of acids. Definition. Any definitions are given. Now, one such definition is acids are compounds which furnishes S plus ions. Acids are compounds which furnishes S plus ions. You know that if we have studied it, every compound is made up of ions, positively charged and negatively charged ions, cations and anions. So every acid contains S plus ion. If it cannot produce S plus ion, it is not an acid. So acids are compounds which are got S plus ion. And when this S plus ion combines with H2O, it is H3O plus. This is what is known as hydronium ions. So what can we say? Acids are compounds which furnishes H plus ions. Remember, H plus ions are produced in aqueous. Aqueous means in water. So when H plus ions combines with H2O, we get H3O plus, which is what is known as hydronium ions. What are acids? Acids are compounds which provide S plus ions in aqueous or hydronium ions. So S plus ions in aqueous that become S3O plus. Understood it? This is the meaning of first definition of acid. Any compound that provides S plus ions in aqueous is an acid. Understood it? The next one we have studied earlier. When a metal reacts with diluted acid, and if hydrogen gas is released, then it is an acid. So how do we say? Right on. Acids are compounds. No doubt. Acids are compounds from which hydrogen gas is displaced. Acids are compounds from which hydrogen gas is displaced when reacted by a metal. Acids are compounds which displace hydrogen acids when reacted with the metal. Now remember, all the metals are not. Certain metal that we will be studying slowly. So we are studying, remember the reaction of displacement. When Mg is put into diluted HCl, we get magnesium chloride and hydrogen gas is released. When Mg is put into diluted HCl, so what has happened? Hydrogen gas is released. Magnesium is a metal which is more reactive that has displaced hydrogen, therefore it is an acid. Clearly, so acids are compounds from which hydrogen is displaced by a metal. Now, when to the material diluted HCl, to which if we add copper, no reaction will place. So don't just understand it this way. If the metal does not displace hydrogen, then it is not an acid. Remember the activity series which I have told you in all those metals which are above hydrogen in the activity series displace hydrogen from diluted acids. What is the definition of acid? If a metal displaces hydrogen from the liquid, then that is. First definition we have studied it. A compound which provided H plus ions or hydronium ion. The second one which displaces hydrogen. And when hydrogen gas is released, we get this substance is known as salt. What can we say? When a metal is reacted by an acid, when a metal is reacted by a diluted acid, we get salt and hydrogen. So if salt and hydrogen are displaced, then that is acid. That's the definition of acid. Now, along with that, coming back to the next topic, how do we dilute acids? Note down. All dilutions are exothermic. All dilutions are exothermic. All dilutions are exothermic. Clear? Now, we have taken little bit of H2SO. This is a container which is having, let's say, I take acid into this, and then I add water. First of all, what we are going to do to the acid, water is added. Then this acid is a medium. All compound of acids. You put water drop by drop. What happens? The reaction is highly exothermic. So due to which the water droplet that has gone inside this boil splashes out. That's it clearly. So when it splashes out, along with that, the acid also comes up and get burned. Similar to that, now we have frying pan filled with oil. Oil is very hot. You sprinkle a little bit of water, what happens? The water jump out and you get burned. Am I right? Same is the situation when water is added into the acid. Now, how the dilution is done? We are taking the container in which water is taken, and we add acid slowly. So water is a medium, right? When we add acid, what happens? The continuous stirring, the heat released is getting absorbed by the water. There will be the rise in temperature of water. The water's temperature will be increased. But what has happened? To the 1 liter of water, 1 liter of water, we are adding 200 ml of acid. So what it takes place? The 200 ml of acid, how much amount of heat is released? That is taken by 1 liter of water. So there will be some rise in temperature. And do the reverse. When the reverse is done, what has happened? To the 1 liter of acid, you have 200 ml of water. So what has happened? The acid is a larger amount, the water is very less, the tremendous amount of heat will be released, and the heat generated locally. Where the acid goes, it becomes hot. Then what has happened? The container, the test or the container in which we are diluting, if it is made up of glass, it may get broken also. So always remember, dilution is done by adding anything into water. That should be clearly. If alkalis are to be diluted, we don't add water into alkali, we add alkali into water. So why reason is what? Dilution is exothermic. Water is a medium. The medium absorbs the heat, therefore the heat is evenly distributed. The container does not break, acid will not splash out, and it was safe. So remember the one statement, all dilution is done by adding the thing into water and not the reverse. Understood clearly? Acids are diluted by adding acid into water. Alkalis are diluted by adding alkali into water. Remember, reverse is wrong. And why the reverse is not applicable? Because the reverse process will release heat and that will make it more. Understood? Dilution. So the next comes. What is the difference between diluted and concentrated acid? We say water, this acid is diluted and this is concentrated. When you add into the log, you must assume concentrated acids are kept separate, diluted acids are separate. All those, whether it is diluted or concentrated, the definition of acid, remember, acids are compounds which are got hydrogen ions. So whether it is diluted one or whether it is concentrated one, it has got hydrogen ions. But the problem is the dilution one, when the acid is diluted in water, it has got water content excess. So how can we say if a sample of acid is given to you and it cannot be told that whether it is diluted or concentrated? Dilution or concentration is a comparison. You have been given two test tubes containing acid. If this test tube contains less amount of water and this contains more amount of water, then the one which contains more amount of water is diluted than this. That's it clearly. So how do we prepare an acid? An acid is produced by dissolving whatever is in water. So every acid has got water in it. See, the water content is more in comparison to the one that is given, then that is diluted. Clearly, every acid has got water in it. So dilution or concentration depends upon amount of water. Two samples are given. This has got less amount of water. The other one has got more amount of water. One which has got more amount of water is diluted. Naturally, the other is a concentrated in comparison to this. Here, this is about dilution. Remember the stage it was asked in the examination. All acids are diluted by adding acid into water. Understand it well. Forget about that. I'm telling you in the general statement, everything is diluted by adding the material into water, not water into water. Because all dilutions are exothermic. Some is, the exothermic reactions in which heat is generated. So somewhere more amount of heat will be generated, somewhere less amount of heat will be generated. But heat will be generated. So if excess amount of heat is generated, then water is a medium, it can absorb. If acid is a medium, it cannot absorb, so the water is. That's what clearly. Dilution is clear. Everything okay. Now coming back to the properties of acids. Sorry, write down the nature of types of acids. Types of acids. Just now we are studying two types of acid, diluted and concentrated. Here, understood that? The next one, write down. Acids are classified into oxy and non-oxy acids. Acids are classified into oxy and non-oxy acids. Acids are classified into oxy and non-oxy acids. The definition is clear. Oxy acids are those which contain oxygen. The formula of sulfuric acid is H2SO4. Oxygen is there, it is an oxy acid. Hydrochloric acid, HCl, does not contain oxygen, therefore it is non-oxy acid. Understood clearly? Oxy and non-oxy. The next one, classified into organic and mineral acids. Acids are classified again into, this is for a knowledge, may not be asked for the examination, but it is better you know. Organic and mineral acids. And what are organic acids? The term itself is clear, which we get it from organisms. Organic acid. Like from lime, we get citric acid. Curd contains lactic acid. These all are organic acids. That's what it. The other acids like sulfuric acid, nitric acid, hydrochloric acid, all these other acids which are not obtained from organisms, they are known as mineral acids. Mineral acids are inorganic acids. That's what clearly. HCl is a mineral acid. HNO3, nitric acid is a mineral acid. That's what clearly. So acids which are obtained from organisms, like whether it is plants or animals, they are organic acids. And generally, organic acids are, most of the organic acids are edible. They are less corrosive. Like we take lime juice, right? So it is a organic acid which is less corrosive. There are organic acids which are not edible, but commonly. Lactic acid, curd, we consume it, it also contains. Whereas mineral acids are generally corrosive. They are harmful. Mineral acids are much harmful. Like HCl, H2SO4, HNO3, if it falls on your body will get burned severely. This is what I'm talking is concentrated acid. And whereas if you put little bit of lime juice on your palm, nothing happens. Right? Because they are weak acids. That's very clearly, these are the common types of acids. Oxy, non-oxy, mineral, inorganic, etc. That's what it. Okay. Physical properties, most of the acids are liquid. But there are certain organic acids which are solid. Understood clearly? Most of the acids are liquid, especially the mineral acids are liquid, and this one organic acids. Some of the organic acids are solid. That is physical nature. All right. Now coming back to the chemical properties, all we are studying chemical properties. Write down chemical properties. First property we are studied it. Acids when react with certain metals, what has happened? Hydrogen gas is released. Then it write down all those metals which are above hydrogen in the activity series. Those metals which are above hydrogen in the activity series displace hydrogen from diluted acid. And when the displacement takes place, it gets salt. Zinc, when reacted with diluted H2SO4, zinc plus diluted H2SO4, we get zinc sulfate ZnSO4%. Hydrogen gas is released. How do we come to know whether the gas released is hydrogen or not? Write down. Hydrogen burns with pop sound. Remember, hydrogen burns with pop sound. POP. Hydrogen burns with pop. POP. Pop sound. Remember, in our kitchen we have got LPG. LPG is combustible, but we don't say that LPG burns with a pop sound. So this pop sound is used only for hydrogen. Remember, certain terms are there. Hydrogen burns with pop sound. Why do we say that it is burning with a pop sound? The reason is, we collect hydrogen in a gas jar. There is a gas jar in which hydrogen is collected, and we light a matchstick. For a moment, the lid is lifted up and the lighted matchstick is put inside. The gas jar is filled with hydrogen. Just put a lighted matchstick, then the entire hydrogen percent here drops, and that sudden combustion will be producing a small sound. Pop. What is the meaning? Pop means it is nothing. Pop. This is the sound that is produced. So hydrogen burns with the pop sound. Understood clearly? Zinc, magnesium, aluminum, Fe, all these metals when react with diluted acid, hydrogen gas will be released, and the released gas is hydrogen. We test it with the pop sound. Understood it? Here. The next one. Then write down any carbonate or bicarbonate. Write down any carbonate or bicarbonate reacts with diluted acid. Any carbonate or bicarbonate reacts with diluted acids. Brisk effervescence. Brisk effervescence of carbon dioxide is formed. Brisk effervescence. What is it? Brisk BRISK effervescence. EFFERVESCENCE. Brisk effervescence. So what is the meaning of brisk effervescence? Simple thing. You all drink soft drink, right? Open the soft drink bottle. How does it come up? The full mixture will be coming out of, isn't it? And that is the meaning of effervescence. So what has happened? What we need to do? We take it as CO. I'll show this experiment later. It will become diluted. HCl is added, and a pinch, little bit of sodium carbonate, sodium bicarbonate, calcium carbonate, whatever it is, you put into this. Little bit of sodium carbonate is added, calcium carbonate, any carbonate is added. Then what happens? Due to the reaction, the entire mixture will come up. Like how the soda bottle opens, the mixture comes up. Same method, everything comes up. And this is the meaning of brisk effervescence. So sodium carbonate plus HCl equation around Na3CO3 plus HCl will produce NaCl plus H2O plus carbon dioxide. This carbon dioxide is coming out of great pressure, and that is how acids are tested. Clear? Acids, so two properties I told you. Metals, remember those metals which are above hydrogen, displace hydrogen. And what is the test of hydrogen? Hydrogen burns with a pop sound. Understood it? Hydrogen is a highly combustible gas, it burns pop sound. Understood it? The next one reacts with carbonate and bicarbonate, carbon dioxide gas is released. Alright? Best will take it tomorrow. All right. Read the book completely and